Samsung is one of the biggest tech companies in the world. They sell many phones and unlike Apple, who makes only a few phones per year, they make it by designing a lot of models for everyone. Today I have the Galaxy A32 in my hands, which is basically the bestseller Samsung phone that you will see in everyone's pocket in a month or so. But why do I think so? When I started preparing for this video, I found out that there are actually two versions of Galaxy A32, the 5G one with 60Hz 720p display and LTE version with Full HD AMOLED 90Hz display and MediaTek Helio G80 chipset. I'm lucky enough to have my hands on the second version of this phone, which is basically better in every way except having a 5G obviously, which is still not a big deal for most of users across the world. This difference between two versions proves my theory about designing phones for a particular audience. I guess people in regions where A32 is shipped with 5G care about it more than about higher resolution, or at least Samsung wants to believe so. Samsung A32 represents the new way of making mid-range smartphones. Not only it is packed with nice specs, we've already seen it many times even in this price range, it also has some, if you let me say so, uniqueness. For the first time in a while, the new design is implemented right in the mid-range phone and not in flagship. Usually such dramatic differences as the new design philosophy first appear in Galaxy S lineup. Here, however, we can see the new look in a full force. As for me, this is one of the most beautiful Samsung smartphones ever. I really didn't like the look of camera models before Galaxy A32 with this black single glass on top of all the cameras. New design looks clean, fresh and minimalistic, especially if we speak about the purple colorway, which is nowhere as loud and cheap looking as the gradients in the past were. My only wish would be a matte finish, but it's definitely still a flagship feature for at least this year. Samsung Galaxy A32 runs smoothly because of two reasons. First, it has a nice MediaTek Helio G80 chip, and second, the bright 800 nits AMOLED display here has a 90Hz refresh rate. The fact that this $2,700 phone has a faster screen than the latest iPhone is wild. I mean, it's obviously not as great in other dimensions, but I can't deny it's noticeably smooth. Under the glass there is a fingerprint scanner which is a bit too close to the edge for me. Sometimes unlocking it using one hand is not that comfortable. In my opinion, the under-display fingerprint scanner should be somewhere closer to the middle of the screen. Speaking about the performance, as I have already mentioned, I have MediaTek Helio G80 here, and it's a great chipset for both games and everyday usage. As for me, I tried playing PUBG on Galaxy A32 and it was fast and not very hard. Which is more interesting, the game launches at high settings by default. Honestly, I didn't think this phone would make it. In everyday life, Galaxy A32 shows itself as a decent phone with stellar performance. Even though there is a quite heavy Samsung One UI on top of Android 11 with lots of additional effects and animations, I didn't notice any lag or stutter through the week of usage. The battery here is 5000 mAh and it's more than enough to power this phone for almost 2 days. Even if you use your device 24/7, you can count on a full day of work. And you see this, it's a very nice trend, because actually if you look at all the latest Android phones, even those that were not launched by Samsung, they are more and more often shipped with huge batteries. I guess this race for the thinnest phone is officially over, and I love it. The last but not least, cameras. Galaxy A32 is packed with 4 boring cameras. I'll introduce them to you as quick as possible. Main 64 megapixel camera shoots okay during the day and lacks details at night. Ultrawide is the same, but without a proper light things get even worse. Macro camera is decent but useless, and finally the depth sensor is... Wait, why would you need it? The front camera is a bit blurry for me even with the beauty filters off. So, after this weekly acquaintance, how do I feel about this phone? In my opinion, Galaxy A32 represents the new wave of great mid-range phones. The way it looks and the way it feels makes it obvious that companies now understand that flagship is not always the most selling phone in their lineup. This $2,700 phone is a good choice for its price, but be sure you don't confuse it with the 5G version, which is not as good as this one. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. That's my first time making a review without showing my face. It's an experiment. Please write down in the comment section below if you like this format or not. See you next week.